Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be smoking a Mexican cigar for the first time. Now, supposedly, from what I've heard online, Mexican cigars tend to have woody, peppery, and earthy undertones to them. And I will admit, that doesn't sound exactly to my preference. But I have wanted to smoke a Mexican cigar for a couple months now, and since I'm in Mexico right now, I figure I should probably smoke a Mexican cigar. So as such, I certainly am very, very, very excited to do just that in today's video. But what is this cigar right here? Well, this is the Pena Blanca Queretaro Torpedo cigar. It cost me 50 pesos, or just a little under $3 USD with the current exchange rate. So, you know, definitely not a bad price at all. And what's interesting about this cigar is that it's named the Queretaro, which is very interesting because I'm actually currently in the state of Queretaro in Mexico right now, and I'm actually in the city of Santiago de Queretaro right now as well. So, yeah, no, if I had to guess, this is probably a local made and local variety of cigars. And that thought process was kind of backed up after I started doing research on this cigar, because I mean, like, a local made cigar that isn't sold anywhere outside of Queretaro isn't going to have a lot of information about it, right? And yeah, there was pretty much no information online about this cigar right here. I think I saw a total of 2 Facebook posts mentioning this cigar and a total of 7 Instagram posts mentioning this cigar as well, all of which were from, well, guess what, Queretaro. So I definitely do think that this is probably a local cigar variety. And so as such, I continued to try to figure out what brand makes this cigar right here. I couldn't find a Pena Blanca website or anything like that kind of thing. And so I was just like, what other like varieties do they make kind of thing? Do they make cigar varieties outside of Queretaro? And then I started noticing different little tidbits that lined up between post to post. And that little tidbit, those little tidbits were the mention of a cigar brand from Mexico in every single one of the posts that mentioned this cigar right here, even when other cigars weren't being shown in the post. And I was like, that's really odd. So maybe that cigar brand makes this cigar as well. And the cigar brand that was being mentioned is a brand called Chazaro. Chazaro is a Mexican cigar brand located in the state of Queretaro. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this cigar is made by them. Now, Chazaro cigars are generally, like, I want to say $10 USD. They definitely are not super cheap cigars like this one by any means. So I was like, okay, maybe this is like their lower end line of cigars or something like that kind of thing. And so I started taking a look at the Chazaro Instagram page, and sadly I couldn't find a single mention of this cigar on their page. I really genuinely have no clue if this cigar is actually made by Chazaro, but if I had to guess, it probably is. The Chazaro website doesn't work, and so as such, I couldn't find this cigar on their website. They never mentioned this cigar on their Instagram or anything like that kind of thing. So I really don't know for sure whether this cigar is made by Chazaro, but if I had to guess, this is probably Chazaro's lower end brand of cigars that is maybe local to Queretaro and is only sold in Queretaro, which is definitely a little bit more interesting than not. This is definitely a unique cigar that I don't think I'd ever be able to find in the States, that is for sure. I think that's everything I wanted to say about this cigar, though. Yeah, it definitely was a little bit harder than not to find some information on this cigar, I ain't gonna lie, but I think I've got everything pinned down pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is essentially just a lower end line of cigars made by Chazaro, which is of course based in Queretaro. So it definitely does make sense why this cigar would be called the Queretaro. Pretty cool stuff, if I do say so myself. I think that's everything I wanted to say about like the overview of the cigar, and I think that's everything I wanted to say about the cigar before I go ahead and get it all opened up. So I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and get this cigar all opened up. So let's go ahead and do that real quick, and let's go ahead and get the cigar out of the cellophane. The cellophane on the cigar does seem to be a little bit colored, so maybe it's been in the cellophane for a little bit, but it's not terribly colored by any means. It's not like super yellow. It definitely is still a lot more clear than not, that is for sure, but I'd have to say it does have a little bit of yellowing to it, just not much. So hey, maybe this cigar is a little bit aged. We'll have to find out if that plays a role into how good or how bad this cigar is, that is for sure. Though I'm gonna go ahead and shove the cellophane in my backpack real quick. Just got to make sure I don't be littering or nothing like that. And let's just go ahead and take a look at the quality of the cigar real quick. The quality of the cigar seems to be pretty good, if I do say so myself. And just inhaling real quick, I can smell a little bit of the cigar, but it smells a lot more mild than not. I'm not really smelling much of the cigar at all. Excuse me, right now, that is for sure. It's definitely not the most intense smelling cigar by any means. Taking a look at the band right here, we can see it's got a very interesting look to it, a black background with lots of orange and white details. It just says Hecho en, oh sorry, I'm getting my words all jumbled up. It just says Hecho a mano right there, which just means handmade. So yes, this is indeed a handmade cigar, not machine made, which is pretty cool if I do say so myself. And then we could just see there's like a little bit of like a mountain right here or something like that kind of thing. And then it just says Pena Blanca right there. And then under that, it just says Queretaro, and then it just says Mexico right there. Really driving home that this is a cigar made in Mexico. Oh man, I just realized I completely forgot to say something about Chazaro cigars. Generally speaking, from what I can tell, Chazaro cigars are made in Queretaro, of course, but the tobacco is grown in, I want to say, Veracruz along the Gulf Coast. So if I had to guess, this cigar is probably made with 100%, if not 100%, very close to 100% Mexican tobacco, which is something I was looking for, that is for sure. So, you know, from what I can tell, the tobacco used with this cigar is probably grown along the Gulf of Mexico in Mexico. So, yeah, this is definitely, hopefully, a 100% pure Mexican cigar. I completely forgot to say that. I cannot believe me. But, you know, the band looks pretty interesting. Getting back to the band, I just completely lost my train of thought there just for a minute. I just realized that I completely forgot to mention that. Band of the band looks pretty good if I do say so myself. And then just stretching around to the side, we can just see just a Pena and then Blanca right there with the B a little bit covered up by this little bit of a sticker. And then it just says Hecho en mano, and then it just says that upside down as well. And then it just says PB, PB, PB right there. I assume standing for Pena Blanca. Now in English, apparently Pena Blanca means white sorrow, according to Google Translate at least, which is a little bit of a funny name for a cigar brand in general, I will admit. Yeah, White Sorrow. I don't think I'd ever think that a cigar brand would be named that, but that certainly is pretty amusing, that is for sure. I'm just smelling the cigar though right off the bat, just very close to my nose. I'm smelling a decent amount of, I'd have to say, probably like a sort of like woody smell kind of thing. A little bit of sort of like a musty, I want to say cedar. Yeah, a little bit of like a musty cedar or something like that kind of thing. That's kind of what I'm smelling. So yeah, I'm getting that sort of like earthy, musty smell in there with a little bit of a woody smell in there as well, but really not much peppery smell at all. Actually, no peppery smell at all, I will admit. Yeah, certainly no complaints on my behalf. Definitely smells very different from what I am used to smoking. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the cigars I tend to smoke tend to smell and taste like cream, chocolate, and like other sweet stuff and everything like that kind of thing. That tends to be what I prefer, and this cigar definitely smells nowhere near what I'm used to, that is for sure. But I think that's everything I wanted to say about the cigar. Overall, seems to be pretty good quality, so now I do suppose I should probably go ahead and get the cigar all cut and everything like that. Now, since I flew into Mexico, I could not bring a cigar cutter with me. I brought a bullet punch with me for a cigar video. I planned on making a cigar video while I was here, so I planned ahead and I brought a bullet punch, but this is a Torpedo cigar, and I'm pretty sure that bullet punches don't work very well with Torpedo cigars, so instead I brought some kitchen scissors out with me, and I'm going to use the kitchen scissors to cut this cigar. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick, and I think I'm just going to cut it just about, and I'm going to try my best not to crack. Oh no, I'm cracking it just a little bit. I'm gonna try my best not to crack the entire cigar or anything like that kind of thing. I did crack it just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up and throw it in my ashtray if I can find it. Where'd it go? I just found it. there it is. I'm going to go ahead and toss this in my ashtray real quick, and I'm just going to go ahead and brush some of the tobacco that is just kind of coming out of the cigar. Yeah, that was definitely, ooh, yeah, this cigar might be a little bit dry. As we can see, it's kind of peeling up there just a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and tear that off just so I don't get that in my mouth, as I probably will the first time I try to take a puff. So yeah, I think I bought this cigar like 3 days ago. I might have let it dry out a little bit too much, I will admit. Hopefully it still smokes okay. We'll find out, you know what I'm saying? We'll find out. But I do think, without further ado, it is now time for me to go ahead and start toasting the cigar. I'm getting my words a little bit jumbled up in today's video, that is for sure. But let's go ahead and get this all toasted. Got my Japanese torch lighter with me today that I'm going to be toasting this cigar with, and hopefully it does a pretty good job of toasting this cigar. Definitely a very different taste than what I'm used to right off the bat. Not bad though, just very different. Got some tobacco in my mouth. Definitely, you can tell that I did not use an actual cigar cutter to cut this cigar, but it is what it is, that is for sure. But right off the bat, definitely a very, very, very different taste than I'm used to, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And yeah, lots of tobacco getting on my tongue and everything like that kind of thing, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. But how would I describe this taste? I'm gonna have to give it some thought. In all honesty, it's definitely a little bit more interesting than not, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Huh. Definitely quite different from what I've had before. But if I had to say right off the bat, it's got a kind of woody-like taste to it. Almost like how cedar smells, or like, yeah, almost like how cedar smells, but with a little bit of like mustiness in there as well, kind of thing. It kind of tastes like how it smells, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I do definitely think I might have ruined the airflow of this cigar just a little bit by cutting it so much. Well, it is what it is, because the draw is just insanely light off of this cigar, and that might also have to do with this peeling up. I think I might have let it dry out for a little bit too long, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You live and you learn, and I certainly am learning right now, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Yeah, no. This definitely has quite the different taste than I'm used to. It definitely has quite the different taste. Huh. It's not sweet, but it's not like sour either. It's a very mild cigar, and that is what the person asked. I asked the person who sold me the cigar, I asked them just like if it was sweet and everything like that kind of thing. They said it was very much a medium cigar. And I'd have to say that this is very much like a medium mild cigar. It's not like super strong kind of thing. And in fact, I'd actually have to say it's one of the lighter cigars I've smoked, which is very interesting if I do say so myself. Huh. Yeah. But yeah, no, the draw off of this cigar, I will admit, is absolutely terrible. It is so light, it's insane. I don't know if that's because of how I cut it, or if it's just because it's so dried out. I really don't know. I feel like it might be because of how I cut it. Whoopsies, it is what it is kind of thing. Nothing I can do about that. But yeah, very, very, very light draw, and that is probably my main annoyance at the moment. But the taste is not an annoyance at all. It is very different from what I'm used to, but honestly something that I think I could grow to like quite a bit. I think I could grow to like the taste of this cigar quite a bit, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And after smoking it a little bit too fast right there, I started getting a little bit of sort of like a spicy pepper taste in the back of my throat, but really not much at all. Even when smoking this cigar a little bit too hot, it still has a very, very, very mild taste to it. And that taste, I'd definitely have to say right now, for the first third of the cigar, excuse me, is just very much a sort of almost like cedar-like. Like it tastes like how you would think cedar tastes based off the smell kind of thing, but with a mustiness in there of like earth or grass kind of thing. Actually, I'd have to say this is kind of like a just very mild, not sweet, not sour, sort of like, oh, like hay-like wood taste. That's kind of what it's like. It's kind of like a hay-like wood taste. Very interesting. I don't know if the taste of this cigar is respective of a lot of Mexican cigars, I will admit. I don't know. But either way, very interesting and not bad at all. Definitely more to my preference than not. More enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, I by no means thought this was going to be a bad cigar, but it's definitely a little bit more to my preference than I thought it was going to be. I can't complain, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. What's more to my preference than not taste-wise, let me put it that way. The draw, though, is not so much to my preference. I think I might have let this dry out just a little bit. Definitely just feeling the cigar. It definitely does not feel humidified. It's been sitting in a plastic bag for like the last 3 days. I wanted to smoke it like yesterday or the day beforehand, but it decided to rain both of those days. And I was just like, okay, I can't go outside for an hour and try to smoke a cigar kind of thing, because it's probably just going to start raining on me in like the first 15 minutes. Thankfully, though, it's not raining today, and it's actually very, very, very sunny out. So it is a perfect day to smoke a cigar, but I might have let the cigar dry out a little bit too much. And it certainly doesn't help that the area I'm in, which is Queretaro, is essentially a desert, so it's very dry, I will admit. And I imagine that the humidity, the lack of humidity in the air, probably dries out cigars a little bit faster than I'm used to. I ain't gonna lie. I'm used to being able to smoke to store a cigar for 2-3 days with no issue, kind of thing, without even really trying to humidify it or anything like that kind of thing. I think maybe the atmosphere in this area might not allow me to do that as much. A little bit more tobacco on my lips, but just swallow it, you know what I'm saying? It's perfectly fine. I definitely just should have bought a cigar cutter at the shop I bought this cigar at. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely should have just bought like some cheap $2 cigar cutter or something like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be cheap kind of thing. I'm just gonna use the kitchen scissors on this Torpedo cigar. And it didn't work as well as I was hoping it was gonna work. I ain't gonna lie. Definitely not. Definitely not. But it certainly is what it is. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful day today. It's as of the recording this video, it's currently July. I know this video is probably going to be going up in like November or something like that kind of thing. But it's currently July right now, and in my local area back in the States, it's like really humid. It's really like 90 degrees all the time kind of thing. Here in Mexico, where I am right now, it's like not humid, it's really dry, and it's like 75 degrees out here right now. It is perfect smoking weather, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I cannot complain one bit. Well, I do suppose the good thing about the lack of humidity in the air, though, is that this cigar is burning very, very, very evenly. And I'm like, look how beautiful that ash is. That ash looks fantastic, I ain't gonna lie. I think I did a pretty good job of lighting this cigar. I certainly got no complaints on my behalf. This, what is it? This is my CR, like, turbo lighter from Japan that I think I bought for like 220 yen or something like that kind of thing. It's a great lighter for lighting cigars, and I'm looking forward to lighting many more with it in the future. It's been a lot more reliable than a lot of my other torch lighters, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. And as we're getting deeper into the cigar, the airflow is getting a little bit better. The draw is getting a little bit less light, I definitely have to say, which makes sense as we're just working our way down. But yeah, certainly not bad at all. Wow. That is very loud. I ain't gonna lie, that is very loud. I will admit, I am glad that I decided to wait to smoke a Mexican cigar until this point in time. I visited Mexico last year as well, and I'm so glad I didn't smoke a Mexican cigar then, because since the previous trip to Mexico, my taste buds, I feel like, have been changing a little bit. My preference in cigarettes has changed a little bit, and I feel like the tastes are a lot more pronounced, and I'm just able to kind of figure out what the tastes are a little bit more now than I was able to before. And if I had smoked a Mexican cigar last year, I don't think I would have liked this cigar at all. In fact, I think I would have hated it. I think I would have just completely disliked it, kind of thing. And it also doesn't help that at that time I hadn't smoked many cigars I had enjoyed, kind of thing. But now that I've got a little bit of experience with the cigars, kind of thing, now that my palate has changed a little bit, I definitely have to say, I feel like I am able to really notice the intricacies of this cigar just a little bit more, and I feel like I'm able to enjoy it just a little bit more as well. This cigar is not exactly to my preference, but if the body could be a little bit better, if the airflow could be a little bit heavier, and if it wasn't as dry, I do think I would buy this cigar again. It's not bad at all. It's just a very, very, very mild taste. There's not, I will admit, it's a $3 cigar kind of thing. There's not really, and I do know there are really high quality, really good $3 cigars out there. I'm not so sure whether this is one of them, I will admit, because when I'm smoking it, kind of thing, I'm not really able to taste any undertones. I'm not really able to taste any sort of interesting tastes or anything like that kind of thing. It's just kind of, excuse me, the taste that's just up in my face. It's just the sort of cedar-like wood taste with the sort of mustiness to it, kind of thing, the sort of earthy, almost grass-like or hay-like, dry grass or hay, sort of mustiness to it, kind of thing, or like decomposing leaves or something like that kind of thing, that sort of mustiness, but not in a bad way, in a good way. Maybe I'm just not used to having to draw super hard on cigars, because on this one you definitely do have to. But I will admit though, some cigars I've smoked have been like really rough, even though I don't inhale cigars unless it's like a cigarello, like a backwoods or something like that kind of thing. Even though I don't inhale cigars, some cigars I've smoked have still been a lot rougher than not. This cigar, on the other hand, is insanely smooth. It is very much a lighter cigar than not, and even the buzz I'm feeling from this cigar is very, very, very light. I'm not feeling like super buzzed by any means, kind of thing. I'm just feeling just a little bit nice, a little bit chill, a little bit relaxed right now, kind of thing. Got a nice little bit of a cigar buzz going, but that's all it is. It's just a little bit of a cigar buzz. It's not massive by any means. This is definitely one of the lighter cigars I've ever smoked, I feel like, at least. Piano. Not too bad if I do say so myself. Not too bad. Definitely very different from what I'm used to, but not bad at all. Not bad at all. The taste, though, is staying pretty much consistent. We're not really in like, what is this? This is about the length of the cigar, so half the cigar is right there, so 1/3 of the cigar would be like right there, kind of thing. So we're not through 1/3 of the cigar yet, but the taste pretty much hasn't changed at all. And I honestly don't know if the taste is going to change with this cigar. I honestly kind of doubt it will. It is not a super expensive cigar after all. I'm not really sure whether the taste is going to change in this cigar. All of the intricacies I smelled when I first smelled the cigar are appearing in the taste right now, and I'm not really picking up any other intricacies that I think could come forth. Maybe there will be something that I'm not noticing at all that comes forth in the second or third kind of thing, but at the moment I'm kind of thinking the taste is probably going to stay consistent all the way through. And of course that taste is just the sort of like cedar-like wood taste with a sort of like musty, sort of like hay-like taste as well. Yeah, interesting, that is for sure. Definitely a little bit different than what I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more of a peppery smoke, but this is not particularly peppery at all. It is only a little bit peppery when you smoke it too fast, but even then, it's not really all that peppery, to be frank. Definitely, though, something's got to be done about this airflow. This airflow is terrible, y'all. That is really my main complaint about this cigar. The airflow is terrible, and I feel like it might have just been my cut. I feel like my cut probably ruined the airflow, but it could very well just be the cigar as a whole. Hopefully, it's this little piece of tobacco that is kind of peeling off, causing that airflow, and maybe once I smoke my way through that, it'll be fixed. I'm kind of hoping that happens, but I don't know that for sure, I will admit. I'm going to go and grab myself a little bit of a screenshot real quick, though. Or at least try to, because I got some smoke in my eye and it's making me cry. I'm not crying because I got smoke in my eye, y'all. I'm just crying because of just how beautiful and how amazing this cigar is right now, y'all. That's why I'm crying. It's just making me emotional, y'all. It's just making me emotional. Definitely not crying because I got smoke in my eye, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna move the cigar band just down a little bit, though. Well, there we go. Hopefully, one of those will be a decent screenshot. But, you know, as you guys can tell, there's really not much smoke coming off of this cigar at all. Very, very, very little smoke coming off this cigar, in all honesty. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit more smoky. I like cigars with a big body. I like smoky cigars kind of thing. This is by no means a smoky cigar, that is for sure. This is definitely a lighter cigar with a light body kind of thing. And honestly, I'll be frank, a light taste as well. The taste, it's building up little by little in my mouth, but it's still pretty much the exact same as it was at the very beginning. It's still that same sort of like cedar wood and sort of just like musty, sort of like earth-like taste kind of thing. Maybe like decomposing leaves in a good way, or like grass or hay or something like that kind of thing, but not in a sweet way. Just very much a mild, not really sour, not really sweet, just sort of woody, musty taste. Not bad, just really not much interesting stuff going on. I'll be frank, y'all, just really not much interesting stuff going on, but not a bad cigar by any means kind of thing, just not a lot of interesting stuff going on. The taste does not change at all kind of thing, and it's pretty much the same as it was when I first started smoking it. I am hoping for the taste to change a little bit as we get to the second, third, but I'm not sure whether that will happen or not. Yeah. No. Not too bad, though, if I do say so myself. Not too bad. Definitely very different from what I'm used to. I'm used to bolder cigars. I'm used to cigars that taste a little bit sweeter, and I don't think I've ever tasted a cigar that kind of tasted like cedar, in all honesty. Nor have I really ever smoked a musty tasting cigar. So this is definitely a unique experience, but I would prefer it if it had some slight differences. I do like the taste of the cigar, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It is really nice. It's not overpowering. I mean, like the main taste in my mouth right now, I haven't had a palate cleanser yet, so the main taste in my mouth right now is very much just that sort of like cedar wood, musty taste kind of thing. But it's not overpowering. It's not overpowering. I've had some cigars that are very overpowering, and it's a little bit annoying just how overpowering they are. This cigar, on the other hand, it's a little bit annoying just how mild it is, to be frank. Trying to figure out like what this cigar would pair well with. I'm used to cigars pairing well with chocolate. I don't think this is one of those cigars. I'd have to say, ooh, what would this cigar pair well with? Chocolate, not really. Maybe like, if you were gonna pair it with chocolate, it would have to be not sweet chocolate kind of thing. It would have to be like pure cacao chocolate kind of thing, like pure cocoa chocolate, not sweet chocolate by any means kind of thing. I'm thinking like salty food. I feel like salted candies or something like that kind of thing. Like salty, not too sweet candies, maybe. I don't know, I don't drink liquor, but maybe like just like a not sweet liquor kind of thing. Like maybe whiskey, or maybe like, I'm trying to think of other liquors, I don't really know a lot. I don't know, I'm in Mexico, maybe tequila or mezcal? I really don't know, in all honesty. I've never had either. I really can't say. I don't know what this cigar would pair well with. Probably some liquor that is, I'd have to say probably a liquor that doesn't have an overwhelming taste to it, and it isn't like super sweet, and is something that doesn't really stick in your mouth for a very long time. I'd have to say probably a liquor like that. Yeah, maybe something like tequila, mezcal, or whiskey. Maybe something like that kind of thing. Probably, I don't know. I really have no clue. It would be pretty amusing to drink some mezcal while smoking a Mexican cigar, though. Well, there's a video idea for the future. I'll have to see if I can make that. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that'd be pretty funny if it does happen. Yeah, no. The body off of this cigar, though, the airflow is so light, it's insane. I still don't know whether it's because of my cut, or whether it's because of just the cigar being dry, or whether it's just the quality of the cigar. I don't know enough about cigars to really be able to say for sure. If I had to guess, though, it's probably my cut. But I mean, like, it's not a bad tasting cigar kind of thing. And even when you're smoking it, well, like when you're smoking the cigar too fast, you do start to get a little bit of a sort of peppery taste in there, but really not much, in all honesty. It is still very, 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 like, this is just a mild tasting cigar as a whole, even when you're, excuse me, man, I'm burping a lot today. I did drink a Monster before this video, so that might make a little bit of sense, but I am burping a lot today. But what was I about to say? I was about to say something, I can't remember. That burp distracted me. I can't remember what I was about to say. I can't remember at all. I do think, though, I want a palate cleanser, so I am just going to move the stuff off of my little bit of a lid right here, and I'm going to put the cigar down on the lid, and I am just going to sit that right there, and I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit of a palate cleanser. I have some CL tap water with me today. You're not really supposed to drink tap water in Mexico, but the tap at the Airbnb I'm staying at currently has a filter on it, so it's perfectly okay to drink. So I'm going to go and drink some of this tap water in a CL bottle. Get myself a little bit of a palate cleanser, and yeah, wow, yeah, that taste was really light. It really did not stick around, I'm gonna lie. It really did not stick around, that is for sure. Yeah, that pretty much, I mean, like, some of the taste is still in there, like that cedar taste is still in there, but that sort of like musky, earthy taste got just washed right away. And that's me drinking water, not like a soda or something like that kind of thing. If I had drank a soda, man, that entire taste would have just gone away, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, definitely not a super intense taste in the world. I will admit, though, even though I've been smoking this cigar for quite a while now, I'm definitely, like, I'd have to say about a third of the way through the cigar at this point in time. I'd have to say it's still not very strong kind of thing. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more buzz than not, though. That buzz that I talked about a little bit earlier on in the video, has definitely been building up and building up and building up, just getting a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger, and making me feel a little bit more relaxed than not, that is for sure. I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm feeling very relaxed right now. I'm enjoying my time right now, that is for sure. But it's definitely still not as intense as some other cigars I've smoked, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Dang. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. Well, this is a just about $3 cigar, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. It cost me 50 pesos. But maybe I should try a higher end Mexican cigar at some point in time. Maybe I should try a higher end one. See what the difference is, kind of thing. See if this is see if this is reflective of what the flavor of a lot of Mexican cigars are like. Because if it is, honestly, I definitely do think I can see myself wanting to buy another Mexican cigar again. It's not anything that's too overpowering. In fact, I'd actually like if it was a little bit more overpowering. But the taste is just very nice. It's not sweet. It's not sour kind of thing. It's kind of hard to get sick of. Just, it's kind of chilling. It's not one of those cigars where I'm kind of like, I'm savoring every hit kind of thing. It's definitely not one of those cigars. I don't enjoy the taste that much. But it's just one of those cigars that you kind of light and you don't really have to think about the taste too much. And I think that's probably why it's in the price point it is. It's a 50 peso cigar. It's a cheap cigar. It's a $3 cigar. It's literally cheaper than Walmart cigars in the States kind of thing. It's a very cheap cigar. And I think this cigar is probably just meant to be a cigar that you kind of just light and don't think too much about kind of thing. You just get the relaxing feeling from it. It's just easy to smoke, and that's exactly what the cigar is, I will admit. But it would be interesting to see if the taste of the cigar is a little bit more reflective of what maybe a higher end Mexican cigar is like, kind of thing. Would be interesting, that is for sure. Still though, the body is pretty terrible. The body is pretty terrible. I'm trying not to ash in the area I'm in right now though. So I might go ahead and try to ash this cigar real quick, I gotta admit. If it doesn't want to ash, it did want to ash. Wow, that ash, like look at that, y'all. That just ashed perfectly kind of thing. Wow, I am actually quite impressed at how well that ashed. I cannot complain, that is for sure. Well, I'm glad I ashed it when I did, because if I didn't, then I figure it probably would have ashed on its own, probably on me. And I've had that happen a couple times, and it's definitely not pleasant. Still far too light for my personal preference though. Far too light for my personal preference. I mean, like, the buzz is definitely not so light anymore, but the body is. The body is way too light kind of thing. I am not getting much smoke at all in my mouth. I'm really having to pull. This is coming off like a very light cigar. I'm not really a super big fan of that. I like bolder cigars personally, kind of thing. Not a super big fan of like light cigars and whatnot, but I mean, like, it's not a bad cigar to smoke, kind of thing. It's just kind of a cigar that you kind of, I suppose, just you kind of buy, you light, you smoke, and you don't think too much about, kind of thing. This is not a cigar that is, I suppose, probably meant to be analyzed like I'm trying to analyze it currently. Interesting though. Interesting. The taste, we're definitely into the second third now. I feel like it's gotten a little bit more bold. I've also just taken the ash off, and we're definitely into the second third now. We've been in the second third, honestly. And up until this point, I haven't really noticed any flavor changes. I was hitting it a little bit quickly a minute ago when I thought I noticed a flavor change, and then I remembered that I was hitting it a little bit too quickly, so it might just be that. But maybe there is a little bit of a flavor change. I kind of feel like there isn't though. I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute, take another puff, and let you guys know. But I'm kind of thinking the taste of this cigar is going to be the same all the way through. It's a $3 cigar after all. Not really expecting the taste to change, in all honesty. But that's not really such a bad thing. As I said, it's just kind of a cigar that you light and you don't think too much about. It is interesting, though. I've never had a cigar that tastes quite like this. And so as such, this is a very unique experience. It is certainly a very unique... I've never had a cigar that tastes quite like this one. I've never had a cigar that tastes like earth and cedar kind of thing. I've never had a cigar that tastes like wood in general, I think. Pretty much every single cigar I've ever smoked has tasted like cream, chocolate, vanilla. Maybe it's had like a little bit of leather in there kind of thing. I don't think I've ever gotten sort of like a woody and earthy, like sort of like decomposing taste. Not in a bad way, in a good way. So it is just very different from what I'm used to, in a good way. Yeah. And I will admit, this is a light cigar body-wise, but it is starting to kick my butt buzz-wise. It is definitely a little bit, it is certainly a little, oh, got a little flower on my hat. Cute little flower. It is certainly, the buzz is certainly building up kind of thing. It's kicking my ass just a little bit. I do feel like, though, the cigar's gotten a little bit more peppery. Oh, yeah. No, I feel like it's gotten a little bit more peppery, yeah. Feel like it's definitely gotten a little bit more peppery. Interesting. And a little bit, I feel like it's got like that sort of like peppery vanilla taste, but not as much musty earth taste anymore. Maybe the taste of this cigar is changing. Yeah, I think the taste of the cigar is changing. I feel like now I'm getting sort of a, yeah, sort of, I'd have to say, that same cedar-like, wood-like taste with a hint of, like, pepper in there as well. But not quite like black pepper. It's like black pepper and chili pepper mixed together. Kind of. It's like really spicy black pepper. I guess that's probably the best way of describing it, just like really spicy black pepper. Interesting. Interesting. And now I can definitely tell that I'm smoking a little bit too warm. Definitely need to let it cool down for a minute, because it's definitely just burning a little bit too hot. I can feel the smoke being just a little bit too hot kind of thing, and the taste just keeps getting more and more peppery. So I am thinking that I am smoking a little bit too quickly right now. I'm smoking a little bit too hot right now. So I am indeed going to just let it chill out for a moment. But yeah, no, not too bad if I do say so myself. Not too bad, yeah. Very different from what I'm used to. I don't really have too much to say, in all honesty. I don't really have too much to say. It's just very different from what I'm used to. I've never really had a cigar that tastes like, I mean, like, I've had cigars that have peppery taste kind of thing, but I've never really had a cigar that has like a woody undertone to it, or if I have, I've never noticed it. I've never had a cigar that has sort of a earthy undertone to it. And the taste that's in my mouth right now, actually, I'm just starting to try to analyze the taste a little bit more that's in my mouth. And that woody taste, I feel like, could also be construed as like really dark, not sweet dark chocolate kind of thing. Yeah, really not sweet dark chocolate, like 100% cacao. I feel like, no, it's more of a woody taste than that, but it could be construed as that depending on the person, I feel like. It's more of a woody taste to me. It could just be the placebo effect, because I was expecting this cigar to taste a little bit like wood, but if I had been expecting it to taste like chocolate, maybe I would think it tasted more like really like not sweet dark chocolate instead. I don't know, in all honesty. I don't know. Interesting. I do think, though, as I'm continuing to smoke the cigar, I gave the cigar quite a minute right there. As I'm continuing to smoke the cigar, I do definitely think it's getting more and more and more peppery as we go down. And I think it's getting more, I think it is actually getting more dark chocolatey as well. Huh? Huh? What? I think it is. Interesting. 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 Yeah. Huh. I don't know if it's just because I started thinking that the woody taste. It's not like, it's kind of hard to describe the dark chocolate taste because it's not like pure dark chocolate kind of thing. I've had very chocolatey flavored cigars before. That is for sure. But this dark chocolate is a little bit different than the other ones I've had because it's not a sweet dark chocolate at all, by any means. It's not sweet at all kind of thing. It's just very much a... It's very much a woody dark chocolate taste. And so I don't know whether it's the wood just kind of tasting like dark chocolate or whether it's dark chocolate tasting like wood or whether it's both or whether it's neither, in all honesty. Yeah. Just kind of feel like it's sort of a woody, not sweet, dark chocolate taste. But it was a pure woody taste at the beginning of the cigar and through the first third kind of thing. It did not taste like dark chocolate at all until this point in time. Wow. I'm actually getting a little bit impressed by this $3 cigar, I ain't gonna lie. I'm getting a little bit impressed by the Pena Blanca Queretaro Torpedo cigar. That is for sure. I'm getting a little bit impressed right now. And definitely, the pepper has gotten more intense. Wow. And here I was talking smack, saying I didn't think the taste was gonna change, and how wrong I was. How wrong I was. Wow. I was quite wrong about that, I ain't gonna lie. I was quite wrong about that. I am pleasantly surprised, that is for sure. I am pleasantly surprised right now. I can't complain, y'all. I can't complain. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. And now that, I don't know if I was just smoking it too fast or what, but that woody taste has come back in now. I don't know. The undertones are so undertony that it's hard to tell if it's actually an undertone or not. This is one of those types of cigars, let me just put it that way. It's so mild in taste that when you taste a different flavor, you think it's changing, but you don't know if it really is. That's kind of how this cigar is. Huh. Never quite had a cigar like this one before. Interesting. Interesting, that is for sure. Yeah, no. As I continue smoking it, I'm still getting that sort of woody taste, but I'm not getting as much of that sort of musty earth taste anymore. And I'm mainly getting that sort of like cedar-like wood taste with a hint of dark chocolate in there and then some pepper under that, I definitely have to say. And depending on how fast you're smoking, the pepper may or may not be the undertone or the overtone. The taste has changed. Not really super significantly. Not really in an unexpected direction. Well, a little bit, because I wasn't really expecting the taste to change at all. But yeah, interesting, that is for sure. Definitely much more interesting than not. Huh. and I did just inhale that by accident. Thankfully, this cigar is a smooth one, and that was not a super big hit. It was just muscle memory. I'm used to smoking cigarettes, y'all. I'm used to smoking cigarettes. I haven't inhaled all throughout this video until this point, and look at me. Look at me. I just inhaled a cigar. I can't believe me, y'all. I can't believe me. Well, it is what it is. This cigar, though, I will admit, the main annoying thing about this cigar, it's not the price tag, it's not the taste, it's the draw. The draw sucks. The body sucks. I hate it. I don't hate the cigar. I hate the body and I hate the draw. They both suck. The draw is too light. The body has no smoke at all. I don't think I've gotten a full-bodied smoke. I don't think I've got a full-bodied hit all throughout this cigar so far. And that is starting to annoy me just a little bit. But it is what it is. It's either the quality of the cigar or just the cut. I don't know which one, and I'm not going to pin it on either. But I'm going to pin it on myself. I'm going to say it's user error, skill issue on my behalf. It probably is that, to be honest. I do think, though, I'm going to go ahead and get the band all off. Go and see if I can get the band off of this cigar. If it wants to come off. I'm not sure if the band wants to come off of this cigar, I will admit. Maybe I just try to get it off like that. There we go. I didn't need to peel it off. There we go. Got the band all off. I'm going to go and throw that in my backpack. And I think one thing that I should have done at the beginning of this video is feel just how tightly packed this cigar is. And don't get me wrong, this cigar is warm right now, so of course it's going to feel looser than not. Any tobacco product that's warm, you feel where it's warm kind of thing, it's going to feel looser than not. This is definitely warm where I'm feeling right now, but it's also quite, loosely packed from what I can tell, and as I'm pressing, it's definitely cracking and everything like that. Yeah, I think it's probably a combined issue. I don't think I cut the cigar very well. It also seems to be pretty loosely packed, which is probably influencing the small body off of this cigar, along with the fact that it's dry and it's literally cracking and everything like that kind of thing. I think it's probably just a combination of all of those three making the body and the draw just so bad. It be what it be, you know what I'm saying? It be what it be. I think I'm probably going to smoke this cigar for like another 5 or so minutes. I will admit, though, I got to take a little bit of a piss. It's usually the it's like every other time I make a cigar video, I have to end the video just a little bit before the end of the cigar, just simply because I got to go take a piss. Thankfully, though, I have definitely smoked more of the cigar than not. I don't think I'll reach the third of this cigar today, but I don't expect it'll change too much, but it certainly has been a fun experience smoking more of this cigar than not in today's video, that is for sure. But yeah, no. The main thing that causes me to end cigar videos a little bit before I planned on is mainly just me needing to take a piss. I took a piss before this video because I knew I'd have to take a piss because like I'm recording this video for like just about an hour kind of thing. I tend to have to take a piss like every hour and a half. And look at me now. I gotta take a piss. I can't believe me, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, those cracks are not helping the body at all. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It is still very airy. It is still not a great body. The taste is still more so the same as how I last described it. I do feel like, as I've been smoking the cigar, I feel like the black chocolate taste I talked about a little while ago might have been in there since the beginning. It's just so undertony that I didn't notice it, kind of thing. The pepper has definitely gotten more intense, though. The pepper has definitely gotten more intense as I've smoked through this cigar. But I've also been smoking a little bit faster over the last couple minutes or so, so who knows, it might just be that, to be completely honest. But much more interesting than not, that is for sure. Excuse me. Much more interesting than not, I ain't gonna lie you. But, yeah. Would I buy this cigar again? I think I'm gonna go ahead and start talking about my final thoughts on this cigar, even though I haven't smoked all of it yet. And, What was I about to say? I'm definitely a little bit buzzed right now, I'm gonna lie. I'm definitely a little bit buzzed right now. I can't complain. This video is a little scuffed. It is what it is kind of thing. It is what it is. What was I about to say, though? I was about to talk about my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the taste is that it doesn't change significantly through the cigar. The taste is more so the same all the way through the cigar. Yeah, no, the taste is more so the same all the way through the cigar. As you get deeper into the cigar and as you start smoking maybe a little bit faster, definitely does get a little bit more peppery. But the main taste overall from this cigar is very much, I'd have to say, a sort of cedar-like wood taste with some hints of like earth in there as well, like a little bit of like hay or grass or like something like that kind of thing, or like sort of like a leafy taste maybe, or something like that, kind of like a dry leafy sort of taste, sort of like a decomposing leaf sort of taste maybe. But as you continue, as that taste builds up in your mouth more and more and more and more, you start noticing a little bit of sort of like a dark chocolate undertone, I'd have to say. Not a sweet dark chocolate, just a dark chocolate undertone, like a 100% cacao dark chocolate undertone, I definitely have to say, which is not bad at all and perfectly suits the taste of this cigar with the cedar and the earth and the pepper and everything like that kind of thing. Overall, making for a pretty well-rounded cigar with a decent variety of tastes in there that isn't too sweet, it isn't sour or anything like that kind of thing. It's a little bit spicy in the back of your throat on some hits if you're smoking a little bit too fast, but not bad if I do say so myself. I think my main complaint with the cigar, though, is really just how bad the body is. I've talked about that all throughout this video, a lot actually. I've complained about that a lot, so I do have some complaints on my behalf about the body and about the airflow, but it is what it is kind of thing. But, what was I about to say? Yeah, no, I definitely do have some complaints on my behalf about the body and about the airflow. Those are really my biggest complaints about this cigar, but I do really like the taste. The taste is definitely a lot more interesting than not, and it's pretty unique when compared to all of the cigars I've ever had before this. As said at the beginning of this video, I've never smoked a Mexican cigar before, and I am certainly very happy to have in today's video. I definitely do think I would have had a slightly better experience if I had maybe bought a little bit of a more notable cigar that had some more information about it online kind of thing, whether it be good or bad information. And I definitely think I would have had a slightly better experience if I hadn't let this cigar dry out for 3 days. But it is what it is kind of thing. I can't go back now. But it's a cigar that I've enjoyed smoking. The Pena Blanca Queretaro Torpedo cigar is definitely an enjoyable cigar to smoke. But I don't think it's a cigar I'd buy again. Not even for $3, not even for $3. It is just kind of a cigar that you kind of light up and you don't really have to think too much about. You just kind of sit it down, pick it back up, sit it down, pick it back up kind of thing. Just smoke as you're puffing away doing something else kind of thing. It's easy to smoke, very easy to smoke. But the body, I can't stand it kind of thing. I can't stand it. I definitely do think I'm going to have to try some more. I do definitely think I'm going to have to try some more Mexican cigars in the future to see whether this one is respective of what all of the other Mexican cigars are like. Do all Mexican cigars taste like this? Well, I'm certainly looking forward to finding out in the future, that is for sure. But yeah, I gotta go take a piss, y'all. So I think I'm probably gonna end the video momentarily. But yeah, I wouldn't buy this cigar again. If it had a better body, if it had a better draw, I'd buy this cigar again. But the draw is just simply put too light, the body sucks, and that's the only reason why I wouldn't buy the cigar again. The taste, though, is very mild, very pleasant kind of thing. It's not a bad taste at all by any means kind of thing. It's a very easy cigar to smoke. You don't really have to think too much about the taste kind of thing. I know I was thinking a lot about the taste in today's video, but you don't really have to, in all honesty, if you're smoking the cigar. It's just a very easy cigar to smoke. It's not a bad cigar. And it's pretty good quality for a $3 cigar if it was properly humidified over the last 3 days. But the airflow is what's kicking it for me kind of thing. The airflow is what's kicking it. So yeah, I would not buy this cigar again. I hate to say it, but I wouldn't. But definitely going to have to try some more Mexican cigars in the future. And I'm definitely going to have to see what I think of those. That is for sure. But I do think without further ado, let's go and take 1 or 2 more hits. And then after that, let's go ahead and finish off the video right there. Yes sir, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I haven't taken a hit in a minute, and it just keeps getting more and more and more peppery. I ain't gonna lie, more and more and more peppery. I figure that's probably just the way this cigar is going. It's just gonna keep getting more and more and more peppery as it gets towards the end. Very interesting stuff, if I do say so myself. Interesting. Well, I'm gonna go and take one more hit, and then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and just let the cigar burn out. And I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there. Well, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a, well, I just set it down, I don't know why I'm picking it back up. Well, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a Mexican cigar for the first time. Let me know y'all's thoughts on Mexican cigars if y'all have ever tried them, and let me know whether you guys think this cigar is respective of other Mexican cigars. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you guys have smoked this specific cigar before, let me know what you think of it. But if you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a Mexican cigar for the first time, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel all in the description down below. Go check it all out. But yeah, no, thank you so much for watching, y'all.